good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon. And I'm wondering if this video will bring you a little bit of good cheer, maybe cold comfort. But the whole green agenda is now falling apart. And it just shows us how quickly these so-called leaders of ours can turn on a dime when they think that the public is turning against them. So our first example is in Germany. Here we go, in Germany. They are now rushing to open up coal-fired generating plants because they are so scared that they are going to lose heating this winter. And of course, with the Rhine being at extraordinarily low levels, all the power plants along the Rhine are now shut down or producing, a much smaller amount of electricity. So, yes. And as we turn to America, Californians, not a week ago, were told that they would not be able to buy a gasoline car from the year 2035 onwards, and there would be discouraging loans. I'd heard in another story for gasoline vehicles where EVs would be favoured. Now they're telling people not to charge their EVs because of a power crisis during a heat wave. This just disincentivizes people to take on the whole idea of EV. In Britain, the cost of hydro is so high, it is now cheaper to fill your car with gasoline than it is to plug it into a wall socket. Again, this is slowing down the potential uptake of electronic vehicles, or showing the fallacy of electric vehicles. And of course, it is kind of interesting that in the meantime, big oil, record profits. Okay, so let's pop over to this little montage of articles. It's not long, and I'll come back and we'll do a quick wrap-up. Okie dokie, here we go. And this from Zero Hedge. Filling gasoline cars could become cheaper than charging EVs in the UK. Due to skyrocketing energy prices, Britons could soon face higher costs for charging their electric vehicles, EVs, at home than filling up gasoline-fueled cars, the Washington Times reports. The high energy and electricity prices that could undermine the growth of EV uptake in the UK and globally could be a cautionary tale for what could be the future in the US. If the energy transition is pushed to accelerate without accounting for whether EVs and renewable energy sources could replace fossil fuels, analysts tell the Washington Times. For the US, this actually gets to an underlying fallacy of a lot of people that are pushing electric vehicles. They assert electric vehicles are cheaper because they assume electricity prices are going to stay cheap, Kenny Stein, Policy Director of the Institute for Energy Research, told the Washington Times. From the New York Post, Californians asked not to charge electric cars days after gas ban announcement. California residents are being asked not to charge their electrical vehicles to conserve energy amid a brutal heat wave, just days after the state announced a plan to ban sales of new gas-powered vehicles by 2035. The plea comes as the Golden Gate sizzles in triple-digit temperatures, but the irony of the appeal was not lost on critics of the ambitious plan, expected to set the pace for a national and international shift to electric vehicles. The US House Republican whip Steve Scalise derided the about-face as a joke, and that's actually what it is. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, it's a joke. And look at this, what's going on here from the Deseret News. Big oil reaping record profits on soaring fuel costs. While we are struggling to pay up at the pump, big oil companies are breaking records with historically high profits. Amid US inflation running at 40-year highs, driven in large part by soaring gas and energy prices, the behemoths of the petroleum industry broke records of their own in the last quarter, reaping historically high profits according to the latest earning reports. And that's all of them. Driving the news, oil drilling titans Chevron, ExxonMobil, Shell and BP all released their latest quarterly earning reports over the last few days, and most of them hit new all-time profit records for the second quarter of 2022. Yes, all the usual suspects. And this is from MSN. Germany's worried about coal shortage this winter as it scrambles to replace Russian gas. He's worried about coal shortages as it looks for alternatives to Russian gas for power generation. Along with low levels on the Rhine are hitting shipping of coal, per a government document seen by Reuters, and Europe is scrambling to secure energy supplies after Russia choked off imports of its gas. And there's also issues with Nord Stream, that's under repair. There's a bearing gone, I believe, inside one of the main turbines. Anyways, it looks like the gas is not going to come online anytime soon. The point I'm trying to get across here is the, well, to say firstly, how quickly policy can change. Okay, so don't give up hope that, or feel that you cannot make a difference in this whole situation. They will change. They will change if they are frightened enough that the people will revolt. Trying to get across here is the ineptitude of the people who are rolling out the big plan. The WEF Great Reset, same thing as I'm reading the book, the same flaws are coming out. They haven't planned anything out at all. And, you know, if you cannot even deal with the needs of right now with your energy, as far as heat waves are concerned, or, you know, cold waves, how on earth are you going to convert everything to electric? I mean, the insanity should be coming clear to you. And this is just one example. You can overlay this on absolutely everything that is going on right now, the changes that are being put into place as far as the farmers are concerned, the digital identity is concerned. These are all going to result in absolute disastrous situations for humanity. And do not follow the leaders. That's all I can say. Do not follow them. Whatever they say, do the opposite. Is probably a better guess as to what you should be doing right now. And are our leaders occasionally right? Or are they always wrong? Not always, but they're wrong enough of the times. And when they are wrong, the price that you and I have to pay for those mistakes is enormous. The impact on our lives is enormous. And I think maybe now you're seeing the devastation that has been wrought around the planet. All of these things that you're seeing now were caused by the lockdowns, the supply chains, the financial situation. All of the things that you're seeing now are the result of bad policy and bad implementation by our politicians and our senior bureaucrats. Okay, so what evidence is there that we should follow them and do exactly what they say, especially when they're legislating some of this stuff? They are going to legislate you to have an electric car, or the banks won't give you the money for it. They're going to try and force you into something that is basically a pig in a poke. No offense to any pigs, but there you go. You're the one who are going to get trapped by this. So listen to this evidence, not just the evidence that I'm presenting. Go online and start checking around in these different countries. Just type in a search for energy shortage or smelters shutting down, this kind of stuff, and you will see the damage that this is causing. So the green agenda, as far as I can see, it basically came to an end this year and will continue coming to an end. And as has been pointed out many times by people far more intelligent than I am, when you put people in situations of hunger and energy issues, they cut down all the trees and they kill all the animals. Go look at what happened in Venezuela. Okay? They were breaking into the zoos to get animals to eat. People were so desperate for food. So they become the most unenvironmental people that you could ever imagine. I mean, so the thinking behind this policy and these green agendas is absolutely untenable and unworkable, because they haven't got the infrastructure in place, but they're pushing ahead with their green ideology. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but this will be a disaster, and you and I will pay the price for this. Mark my words. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below, and in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Take care. Bye.